Hey everybody, it's Jay here with RC Nature, and yeah, just doing a quick video here. I haven't done a video in probably a few weeks. Just got some run video footage done, but haven't made a video of it. And the snow is like melting, and so we're like right in between, you know, winter and spring, or the summer dry up. Anyway, just figured I'd do an update video here and see what's going on. So I have completed my Revo 2.0 complete rebuild. Done a lot to it. Toss that over there. I put a steel driveline in it, all new AR arms, and then my suspension links I put all red on there. And actually, those are the Amazon ones, and they're a little bit cheap looking. I'm especially worried about the suspension links on the rear, because I did bust one on my trial run when I took this out in the parking lot, and I bought new ones on Amazon, and they're pretty spindly, so I actually ordered from the hobby shop the Traxxas red, and I've got those coming so that I can slowly replace them, because that is one thing that does generally break. And I went sliding on a bit of ice in a dry parking lot and hit a telephone pole with the rear tire, and busted one off pretty easily. So I put in 2 Power HD 25 kg servos. I really like Power HD servos, and especially when you're dealing with dual, 25 kg is plenty. I did run the FS GT5. The thing about the receiver on the Traxxas is they have 2 number 1 slots for each servo. That was a problem, but I just simply used a splicer and cut one into 2 and then ran it to each servo. I was a little bit confused as to whether or not they'd be turning in the same direction, but they do. Like, even though it's upside down and it seems like, it does work. So you can use a splicer for 2 servos, and they will turn and work properly. Most people probably knew that, but it took me some figuring to actually check it out. But it did work for me, so that's one thing. Another thing, I found this super big heat shrink. And it shrinks down 3:1, red and black. This is 1.25 inches, the bigger one, and 3/4 inch, the smaller one. And what I did was, a lot of times, because I use connectors for, and I just connect it to the Traxxas, and I use the Dean still, because I still can't justify getting a Traxxas charger. I've got that charger, and it's a really good charger. And I just haven't got to the point where I want to go and spend, $400 on Traxxas chargers and batteries. So I'm still using the Deans, and I used to just electrical tape them. The problem with that is it just starts to come undone all the time. So I found this heat shrink, and it seals. That's watertight too. So like, it kind of melts to the wires, and it makes for a really good protector. And I mean, that's bomb-proof until you carefully cut that off with a razor blade, because that ain't coming off. So that is what I've found is to be a really good alternative to electrical tape. If you're using connectors and you want to just kind of make them permanent, that works really well. Uh, also on the Revo, I did put on the aluminum steering. I got the steering mechanism, the servo saver, and the carriers as well are all red aluminum from Amazon. And I did do a video on how to put the rubber protectors on there, because that was a tricky thing. But yeah, and I also did it on my Haas here. I've done some aluminum upgrades on that too. Shock towers, carriers, servo saver, steering links. But yeah. And then there is my slash. And on this one, I actually used let's pop these out. The 3/4, the smaller one. And that's what I got the 3/4 for. And I mean, it starts out quite big and it shrinks down 3-to-1, so it works really well. But yeah. So also on the slash, I did a full rebuild. I hadn't really touched this truck from the time I got it. I just kind of ran it, and I felt like, okay, well, you know, it's time to give this thing some attention. So I didn't take the diffs apart because they felt pretty good. Like the insides, I didn't take the spider gears out, and I didn't put new diff oil inside. I did grease them and do all the outer diffs. I didn't do the inner diffs this time round. But I did everything else, cleaned it up. But the green shock towers, put a new body on, did up this body, and it turned out pretty cool. It was one of the Traxxas pre-painted black and white, and then I just did the green on it. But yeah. Really like the way it turned out. It was definitely time for a facelift for that truck. And obviously I used the smaller heat shrink because I actually soldered on the Deans on this ESC when I got the truck. I have since stopped doing that because I do believe that at some point in time I will switch over to Traxxas batteries, I suppose, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. But like I said, I've just been using connectors. So that's the slash and the upgrades I've done on that. Back to the FS-GT5. This is a new radio. Actually comes stock with Red Cat products. At least the newer ones. Fantastic radio. I won't get into all the ins and outs, so you can look it up. It is a 6-channel, so I've really been impressed with it. For about 110 Canadian, it's a really good radio. Really happy with how it works. 20 truck settings, so you can put 20 different vehicles in that radio. Keep in mind, the receivers are about $60. So I've only got 2 right now. I've only actually put it into the e-Revo for now. But I did put thicker suspension in the rear. And I've got the gold in the front, which was in the rear. And that's still a little loose, but for the front, I don't mind because I like the front to be a little bit looser. I haven't put on the safety straps or the limiting straps. I did buy some, but I'm not convinced that with these heavier springs I'm going to need them. So I'm not going to put the limiting straps. I might put them on, I don't know, but I don't really think I'm going to need them with the thicker upgrade. Obviously, the rear suspension guard I upgraded as well. Put a new one on. Servo covers in red. I did want to get some upgraded skid plates, but I haven't done that yet. A new bumper maybe. But I did get the wheelie bar. Guy made it, that I bought it off of. He made it on his 3D printer, and it's pretty decent as long as you don't have to take it apart, because I had to take a bunch of pictures just to see how it went back together. It was pretty complicated to take apart, but nonetheless, it works great. Aside from that, I think that's pretty much all I've done. In regards to that, I did want to replace the 6S ESC. It doesn't have good reviews, and all in all, it's a pretty poor ESC. It doesn't even have a power button like to turn it on and off. You just plug it in, and it. And then I find with this one, I have to hit the easy set button with so I got to carry something like a knife around, or I use this, and I actually have to hit that easy set button to get it to turn on. I was a little concerned that it wouldn't actually work properly, although it does seem to. I will be replacing that in the future, but I haven't yet. That's probably number one on my list of things that I don't want to keep from Traxxas is the 6S ESC. It's got it's known as the lowest point of this truck, the 6S ESC. Not overly popular. So one more little thing here I'll add. If you're like me and you're still using Deans, or you're looking for batteries to fit the eRevo 2.0 or the eRevo, these 5200 mAh 3S 50C batteries, they fit really nice in the eRevo. And the eRevo it's not the easiest vehicle to find batteries for, and that's going to go also with the Summit, which I use 2S in, although I could use these 3S batteries in there. Mind you, if I do that, I'll be extremely careful, because that's a lot of power for the Summit. It's got pretty sensitive drivetrain. So if I do use these batteries in there, I will be very careful on the throttle. But yes, I bought them for the eRevo, and they fit in there really nice. So it is a little bit tricky to find batteries to fit in this specific vehicle, because it's the underbody, under chassis sort of fits inside, and that limits your battery sizing. And these, I originally had a bunch of 55s, and they're 3S as well. They seem to be a little bit thicker. You can squeeze them in. These are 80C 3S batteries, but they're a little big. This is what I use in my Haas, my Stampede, and my Slash. So they work fine for that. But I found these ones for the eRevo 2.0, and they're just a little bit thinner, like just ever so much thinner, just enough that it's not really puffing up the chassis when you put them in like the 55s were. So, if you're not using Traxxas batteries, and I know Traxxas must have eRevo 2.0 batteries. Mind you, I haven't really seen them around, and they'd have to be quite a bit thinner than everything else they have. I'm sure they do have them. I didn't look that hard. Not that I'm buying Traxxas batteries anyway, but these ones, the Z5200 50C 3S batteries do fit in there like a glove. So that's just a little something that I'll add in to this video. And, you know, in regards to the Z batteries, I mean, you know, with the Deans and the old technology, I mean, the guy at the hobby shop is telling me, oh, yeah, no, be careful with those. I know a guy that, you know, burnt down his shed with just a little tiny one. And, you know, there's only one way you do that generally, and that's by typing in the wrong information into your charger, which, you know, to me is not complicated. When you're talking, I think these are, you know, I think I spent maybe $60 a piece. I think they were $120 for the set of them. And that's 2 batteries for half the price of a Traxxas battery, you know. And it's not like, you know, I understand the Traxxas technology. I understand, you know, not wanting to burn people's houses down. And if you've got kids, you know, idiot-proof chargers are probably a good way to go. But when you think about the price that you're spending, the extra money, I've been using Z batteries for a good 4 years now, and I haven't had, you know, any serious issues with them whatsoever. I'm just very careful with, you know, putting the milliamps in and setting it to the right, you know, battery setting, you know, whether they're 2S, 3S, everybody knows that anyway. But, you know, this whole Traxxas thing, it is safer, but it's also just a big money scam, you know, because it's like you're getting people to spend, you know, $250 on a battery that's literally worth 60 bones, you know, and it's just, and then the charger, you know, don't even get me started. I mean, I was on the verge of buying the charger, the batteries, and, you know, everything now that I've got the Max, right? But I didn't do it. I just bought a 4S Z battery for the Max as well, and that's working fine for me. It's just I'm not willing to go out and spend all that extra money on batteries that I find you're buying on Amazon, and they seem to work just fine for me. I've never had a single issue. So, you know, people say, oh, cheap batteries are dangerous, but, you know, the people I see that I watch videos and they're using the Z batteries, I mean, they haven't had any issues, and it's just, you know, they're not idiot proof, right? I mean, yeah, sure, if you're a kid or a moron, then, you know, spend, you know, $250 a battery on Traxxas stuff just so that you don't have to think when you plug them in. You know, as far as I'm concerned, that's too much money for, you know, kind of an unnecessary safety precaution. Because I've never had any issues. I know what batteries are what. They say it right on there, and you just type it into the charger, and you make sure you double check, you know. And yeah, so that's just a little spiel on batteries. So I do apologize. At the beginning of this video, I said I put AR, A-arms. They're RPM. I put RPM A-arms, suspension arms on the entire Revo. So those are RPM. I don't know what I was thinking when I said AR, but nonetheless, they're RPM. And of course, I did Gorilla Tape all my bodies. I always do. It makes them last a lot better. The Slash, this body was a pain in the ass to Gorilla Tape. So that was fun. It's a big body and it's a lot of surface area and a lot of little nooks and crannies, but I got it done, and it should last better than the last one. I still have the original, but it's pretty beat up. So nonetheless, that's my video. Just a quick update on a few things that I got going on in the shop. Anyway, peace out.